Hello everyone and welcome back to Devis Scottus. Today our challenge is to do some coloring. So we're going to sit right down here, do some little coloring. And you know what? Coloring is a time to unwind and just think about things, get things off your head. And I think I'm just going to have a little chat with you guys as I color. So let's get into the video. Let's do this. All right. So right here we have a little Pip-Boy here. I apologize about the quality of this little PNG because there are going to be little white artifacts. In fact, like that whole knob up there at the top is just white because it would not remove the background for me. So you'll just have to make do with that. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. Today, while we're coloring, I just thought I'd talk about Devis Scottus. And this whole little journey we've been on so far, it's been a very interesting thing trying to upload a different video every single day. One has been coming up with ideas which we're killing it. Scott and I are killing it, just to be honest with you. We got so many ideas in the book, so many things we want to get done. Then there's recording. Recording is sometimes where things fall apart for me personally. Um, I have a lot of grand ideas of like what I want to do in a video because we come up with these ideas and sometimes they're bigger than we could possibly even tackle. And me especially, I think of things where I'm like, man, it would be just so cool to do this or that, and like I get these grand ideas, but when it comes time to actually record, I'm like, oh, I don't have time for that. I didn't prepare anything for this. We can't do that. That's just way too much. And that's a bit of a shame, honestly. But it's part of how Devis Scottus is structured because when we have to record and edit everything every single day, it is a lot harder to get done higher quality things. For example, like we can do basic editing pretty easily. And when I say pretty easily, I mean it only takes me about an hour to edit when I do basic editing. So when it comes to the bigger stuff, it gets a lot harder because while I know how to do some really cool stuff in editing, it is way too much for what needs to be done. It takes far too much time, especially when we have a time limit of a single day each day. And a lot of the times it is during work days where I also have to get actual job stuff done. But, well, I guess I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this exactly. I just wanted to talk about Devis Scottus because it's easy to see all these videos and be like, yeah, well, they're not super great quality. Some of the videos are good, some of them aren't. And it's just because of how many things we truly have to get done. Because a little peek behind the scenes for any newcomers or people that are not familiar with us, this is all just done with Scott and I. Like we don't have a team or anything like that, so we have to record and edit everything ourselves every single day. In addition to trying to figure out what exactly we want to do for these videos, it's a lot, and it doesn't seem like a lot because, like I said, you're not getting quality here at Deviscatus. You are getting quantity, and but it is a lot. It is a lot of work, and I'm not trying to complain about it because obviously I come back each day. And I mean, we're what, 42 days in now? I think 42 is right. That's a lot of videos that we have put up. I believe on the channel currently there are, well, as this video comes out, 43 videos on there, which is insane considering it's one a day and we've been doing it since the beginning of the year. Like, yeah, it adds up. But 42 or 43 videos, that's a lot of videos. Like realistically, a lot of videos. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I I've talked to Scott about this. It does make me wish that we had more time to do stuff like this. Like actually get into more in-depth stuff and do more fun editing. Because editing is what makes or breaks a video, in my opinion. I'm sure some people would say, well, you could have great editing, but if you got no personality or something like that, I don't know. I think the editing is everything in these videos because no one wants to watch. Well, a lot of times people do not want to watch unedited stuff, and there's definitely an audience for the unedited stuff as well. But I don't know. I have these ideas of like bigger things I want to do, and when we come across some of these video ideas where it's such a fun concept and it's such a shame that we can't execute it in a way that I feel would be proper for them. It's just a little tragic at times. But again, I'm not complaining. I enjoy Devis Scottus for what it is. I'm just thinking about the future, because in case anyone wasn't clear on this, because I never really said it, or I don't think we ever really stated it, uh, this channel ends at the end of the year. It's gone. Uh, it's not an Unis Honest, but we are indeed stealing that idea from Unis Honest. We are absolutely just deleting the channel at the end of the year. So if you haven't watched something you wanted to watch yet, go ahead and watch it now because your time is going to be running out, buddy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Devis Scottus. Today we are just going to jump right into it and colour a picture. Now, some of you might not know this, but colouring, and I have a lot of colours to choose from, colouring is a very cosy thing for me to do. It's something that I like to do when I'm stressed, and this piece that I'm working on right now, I actually printed this off about 6 or 7 years ago, and the reason for that was I had a job at university, and the job was working with other university students, and I just wanted them to have a stress relief thing. That was one of my big priorities in that job. Is I knew that revising for exams and all the stress of that, it was a lot, and I would always just look for activities or really ways to give them food or just simple things like that made them feel like someone was looking out for them. And someone else that I was working with had this idea that, well, adult colouring pages are a thing. I'd never really heard of that before, and I sort of just took their advice and went for it, and I was really glad that I did because it got me into it. And this isn't something I do regularly. I perhaps could do it more. It's just something that I like to do when I am feeling a bit overwhelmed and just need to clear my thoughts. And the reason I have these colouring pencils is not because of any, like, oh, I really got into the idea of colouring. It's actually because my mum and dad, they got me this set because about at the same time I was starting to get into drawing and just basically making pictures of Pokemon. Now, I wouldn't call myself an artist, I'm not nearly talented enough to be anything like that, but it was a big deal for me because I was never really known for drawing in my past. Famously, I couldn't really do much, but I got really into just looking at pictures of Pokemon and trying to match it. And yeah, they did look a bit off, but there was some that I did quite well with, and I was quite happy about that. And initially I was just doing them sort of black and white, just for what I could do. Just as like, wow, I'm really quite happy with this. It was a big deal for me. And you would have thought, if I told you I got this when I was 6 or 7, it would make sense. But my mum and dad sort of saw it as, like, hey, this is a big deal. Like, he's not good at this, but we should foster this and try and do something good with it. So they got me this lovely set. It was a complete surprise. And I've had people be jealous of the set because it's a really nice set and there's so many different colours. But I was really happy about that and happy to have it. And I've used it quite a lot over the years. For my brother, I've done this 3 or 4 times. It started as like an actual necessity to do so. One year I had bought him a game and the game did not come with the box art, and I was like, ooh, that's not good. So I bought a cheap game and then used that, took that box art out, changed like how I got the disc for the actual game that I was buying for my brother, and in that case I was able to then draw box art for him. And that was just a lot of fun to do that. And again, it wasn't like good art. I would say Devon's a great artist, and I really hope that he knows that. Mine was, it played into the strength of it. Like, the joke being like, yeah, me trying to pretend like this was the box art. It was funny like that. I need to check if I'm actually recording. Because I would hate if I wasn't. I am recording, that's great. So, me doing something like that, where I was checking the recording, that would have been something that I would have reset the whole video for. And I really want one of the big takeaways of this to be, this is what it's like for me to do this when I am stressed, or I've got a lot on my mind, or I just want a simple night. I would have just kept going. And this isn't like a normal Dev Scottis video for me where one tiny mistake means that I want to restart the whole thing or edit around it. I want this to be a good exposure of what this exercise can be like. Again, you're not really trying to conform to any sort of reality where this could exist. For me, it's just, I look at the colours and I think, yeah, that's what I want to do next. Like I do want to jump around and think, yes, this is my next colour, and spring around. There's no meaning behind this besides what I come up with in my head. Now, the only difference between what I'm doing and how it would normally go is I wouldn't be talking out loud. But hey, if you're doing this with me and you're following along, you can talk out loud, you can be silent, you can do whatever you want. The idea of this exercise is just to express yourself and to take a moment to slow down and think about what's important. And I guess to finish the video for one last topic, I do just want to appreciate the people I have in my life. And there's only one person I know for a fact will watch this video. I mean, I hope a lot of people do watch it and get something from it, but there's only one person that I know by definition will watch it, which is Devon. Devon watches my things, I watch his. He has to because it's his channel, and well, it's our channel, but he especially watches everything because he edits it, and I'm so happy not only to be doing this with Devon, but to have a friend like Devon. And I think I've always been the sort of person that will tell someone how I feel about them when I feel it. And I feel it now just to say that Devon is someone that I'd always wanted to be friends with. And it wasn't Devon Scottis that brought us together, but Devon Scottis is one of the things that we've done since truly becoming friends, and I couldn't be happier about that. I really couldn't. So, I think, Devon, as you're watching this, I'm really happy that I'm your friend. Well, this is what I've sort of come up with so far. It wasn't a lot, but I was filling in some of the gaps. I like this idea of things that aren't flowers being this sort of darkness and having the flowers truly pop. And I was just filling in other areas, focusing on my thoughts, and just having a good time. And I think if there's anything that I can leave you with is that anyone can be artistic. It could be as simple as colouring. Any way that you can express yourself is a good way of doing it. I'm not a particularly good artist. I never claim to be. But I love doing it. And if you're like myself and have always, maybe when you were younger, had doubts about your art and had people make fun of you, really think about, well, do I like what I'm doing? Do I enjoy this? Even if it looks weird and you can have a laugh about it, I think that's what really matters. So, be creative. If there's anyone out there that's following along with Devon and I with this daily challenge and trying new things, that's what I want you to do today. Is just go out there and try some creative thing, even if it's just getting a bit of paper here and just drawing some tiny little sketch of something. That's creative. That's something that no one can take away from you. So, I really hope today has been special for you, and if it hasn't, just know that there's a good day coming. And for everyone watching, I really appreciate you taking the time to just listen.